Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Code with Italians. And we have a guest today that you're usually seeing on the other side of the screen. He's generally with you on the chat, but today he's joining us live. Hi, Hugo. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello.
So, yeah, how are you
How are you
doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I managed to upgrade the BIOS of my motherboard and survived it. So that's good.
I mean, you really love to live dangerously.
No,
don't
but
you?
the thing is, I don't hear the crackling sound now, which
That's good.
was the whole reason to do the BIOS upgrade. Because turns out the utility on the Asus motherboards, whatever the fucking name it has on the Armory Crate, something stupid like that. Something is
Okay,
wrong. There's always something wrong.
He sounds very deep, like late night DJ voice, like like Don
Okay.
Felker voice.
Oh, no,
How do you
please,
do?
no.
What
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
deep?
Late night radio works for me. Late night radio
Okay,
works very well for me. Like,
Okay.
in the US where they have AM radio.
Yeah.
Should be correct. Let me check. Aha.
I like the fact that we have been doing this for like
Better now.
months.
Yeah, I know.
Months.
It's not my fault if at some point
No.
Windows
No.
randomly decides to change the sampling rate.
I'm not blaming you, but I was thinking it's always something different or something slightly different. Like, having like a solid constant setup, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Let's say we can blame
Anyway.
the BIOS upgrade this time, but generally it's
let's-
just bad luck, I guess.
Let's blame the technology.
Is it better now? I think it should be better now. If it's not better now, then I'll have to restart OBS, which might be a problem.
Clicking?
That's better.
That's
okay.
better. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
because the sampling rate was wrong. Windows changed it for whatever reason. Anyway,
Fantastic.
Ivan, do you want to do the usual spiel?
Yes. What do we want? So the usual public hi Hugo. Yes. Public announcement, the public sticker announcement, how we call it now. So we are running. I think we are running a giveaway for IntelliJ. So we have a keyword for last video, and you can check the video on YouTube and participate if you want an IntelliJ discount code. If you are sick of Android Studio and you are not doing Compose at the moment, well, if you can do desktop Compose. But we are running the live giveaway as usual, so you can win one of our fancy stickers. And if you are a subscriber, you can get the hollow one. Now, by the way, today I met Roberto and I saw that he has a hollow sticker that you gave him at some DroidCon or something.
Yeah, DroidCon London.
So
yeah. Unfortunately,
nice. So,
Roberto was almost crying when I was telling him it was only for subscribers. And so he promised that he would subscribe with Prime, given he has Prime.
Yeah.
So it was like a trusting gesture.
Yeah. You are such a generous person, but now we can count. We keep. He has to be accountable because we are also live shaming him. So, ciao Roberto, you need to subscribe because you got the sticker. Now you have to pay. But jokes aside, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can subscribe to our channel for free. We keep saying this because it's super free for you. And it's $1 something for us, so we can buy more stickers and send them I'm getting ready for the next batch of letters or envelopes going out. And the next batch is also going to get more stickers. So it's not just Code with Italian stickers. It's just going to be a bunch of JetBrains and Kotlin stickers because Sebastian is such a generous person.
Because why not?
Why not? And yeah, so we have more giveaways coming up in the next week. We will announce why and when later today. So keep an eye on the stream. And what else? We keep episode notes, everything that comes to the chat that is relevant. You will see it in the VOD on YouTube. As usual, the VOD is going to be like 24 hours after the live. Thank you, Twitch, for the constraints. And yeah, I think we're
They
good.
have to make money somewhere, right? They're not running ads or anything.
Bezos. I mean, those rockets are not going to send themselves to Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta pay for the fuel.
So, yeah, true story. What are we gonna do today?
I don't know. Why would we have Hugo here? Hugo, why are you here?
Why am I here?
Okay, so that's a bit harsh, Sebastiano. So I can tell you why Hugo is here, because we started. So thanks to somebody in the chat, our friend Mark, we started using TOML files and version catalog from Gradle. And, it's all fun and games until you need to update libraries and you don't have the hints anymore from Gradle as you usually do when you're like a normal build file. So Hugo built a plugin for that. Thank you, Hugo. So
yeah,
tell us about the plugin.
Well, I guess, like you mentioned, I also like the TOML file. And before that, I wasn't really into all the, how do you call it, like Kotlin dependency code stuff, because it has the same problems as it has with the TOML file, right? You can't really have any tool support anymore. It's hard to update it. So now with the TOML files, I quite like them. And I actually was thinking of, well, how would I use this? How would I manage this? And there was nothing really there's no tooling support yet. I suppose that's coming. I don't know. So
we will eventually
yeah.
support it, but it needs to be supported by the IDEs in the first place.
Right.
And by we, sorry.
Yeah.
I just need to say, I mean, the package search, the dependencies panel in IntelliJ, that's my shit. Sorry if it doesn't work.
Right. Wow. Yeah, so I had some spare time, and I have a little bit of fascination maybe with build tools and all that stuff, and making plugins. And it has been quite some time that I made a plugin. I think Android APT was the last one. So I was thinking of can I update that file based on dependencies, and then I was more or less looking at what people are using. And I know I knew about the dependency, what is it called, the version updates plugin.
There's like a half dozen at least. You mean in the Ben Mains one, the historical one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's also the one I see the most when I come into projects. For some reason, that's used a lot. So I wasn't really into trying to reinvent that wheel. So the idea was to build upon whatever that plugin gives me, or maybe some other plugin in the future. I don't know. And then basically take that output and update your TOML file and make it nice and tidy and clean up some stuff as well. Because it does a couple of things right now. It can create a TOML file for you, which is maybe nice as a start, but it's not super useful to keep adding stuff to it, because Gradle has a lot of dependencies as well that are contributed from plugins and other. So you're gonna have a little bit of junk in that file, but it's a nice starting point if you already have a project. And then the main purpose is basically to keep it up to date. So make sure that your versions are nicely grouped. So if you have, for example, if you have multiple Compose libraries, it will add a version group for you as well. so that you don't
Oh,
have to
nice.
do that all the time. And it's a little bit opinionated as well in that sense. So if you just use one artifact in some group, it won't do that unless you already added it by hand. But that kind of stuff. And also what it does is, and that might be my personal preference, but I generally don't really like template projects because it has a bunch of junk in it, which you're not going to use. And at some point you're looking at that file and saying, am I using this or what's going on? So it can also, by default it also removes dependencies that you're no longer using anymore. So it keeps that file clean.
Oh, nice. Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually nice.
That's
Whoa.
all.
Thank you.
That's all optional, by the way.
Thank you.
That's all
Thank you.
optional.
Thank you.
So you
Thank
can
you.
start out. You can start out copying like the great TOML file from the bundle project, and then you can maybe still have the option to keep everything in there until you're ready. You say my project is set up. Then you flick a switch, and then it will just clean out all of the stuff that you're not using. So that was basically my yeah. I think that's how I would like to use it. I'm not currently on an active project, so it was more or less also see if I can make it happen and gather some feedback from the community, and yeah. So that's how that got started.
So I have zero experience on Gradle plugins, so this fascinates me a lot because I feel like they can be useful, but not being able to build them, I never found, like the right use case. It's like a vicious cycle, right? I don't know how to do them, so I can't think about a use case where a plugin will be useful. How? I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
So how do you start with something like this? So do you have like a lot of experience or like a decent amount of experience with this?
Well, I mean, I think what a good starting point is you have some kind of script or any build logic that you tend to copy into files in your build files, for example. Then it makes sense to create a plugin, and a plugin is basically nothing. In that sense, not super complicated in the sense that you get access to the project and you can do the same things that you would do by writing code in your build file. But yeah, you don't want to be writing code in your build file, I think. You want to be idiomatic and do some configuration mostly, like DSL kind of stuff. So that's where I started also with the Android APT plugin in the past. That started out as a script, and then I started wrapping that in a plugin, and then you can do a little bit. Yeah, sometimes you can do some little bit fancy stuff, but it's basically just that. And in terms of creating those plugins, I'm probably not the best at that, but what I'm experiencing is that it's very helpful to write tests around it because it's almost impossible to have a project that emulates all of the aspects there. So currently for my current setup, I have a bunch of unit tests that's testing the core logic, and then I have a little task that's basically calling that logic. There are some tests around that. And then you can use Gradle's included build feature as well to really test the plugin on the project. But there's more options like that. There's a whole test kit where you can do integration testing and stuff.
Yeah, you're using the integration testing stuff as well, because I remember using that a few years back. It's quite cool, actually, but it takes forever because you need to spin up Gradle.
Yeah, I haven't set up the whole so the integration testing I'm currently still doing manual by having a test project and then including that build. So then you can test on the latest version of the plugin. But I think eventually it would make sense to also add some automated integration test there. But yeah, that's there's a whole rabbit hole there.
Yeah, testing Gradle plugins is good fun.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
I will just drop in the chat the link to the plugin. Maybe I can. Oh, thank you for the cheer.
Thank you.
Maybe we can also share the screen so people can see what we're looking at as well.
Yeah.
So it's version 0.20, which means it's stable, right?
Yeah, ship it. It's production ready.
Well, it depends, right? Now
This
I'm
isn't
mostly
just
looking for
code.
feedback because,
This
like I
is
said,
sexy Italian
I haven't
code.
battle tested this. I think it has most of the features that I would like to have, but yeah, there might be some things that I'm missing or things that need more testing. So, but eventually, I hope to get it to a 1.0 version and then go from there. But you see that the Ben Mains one is still on 0.39. So
Yeah,
I guess we're gonna
it's-
overtake that soon.
it's been there forever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's at
yeah.
0 something since, I don't know, what, 7-8 years, whatever, how long it's been there.
Yeah, I don't really like that kind of versioning, but no. So I did the first version. I got some useful feedback from a few people, and last week I did a small update. So there was something around plugin updates, which is kind of icky still with Gradle and the TOML file,
Mm.
which got a little bit better, and there are some small improvements. But yeah, and yeah, the other things I'm considering, because also depends on the feedback. If there are other plugins that provide dependency resolution in some kind of way, it might be maybe an idea to have some kind of integration with that as well, so that you can pick which plugin you want to use there. But yeah, that's something that I would like to learn from other folks that are actually using those plugins. Because there, like you said, there are a couple of plugins that do this. There is also some overlapping stuff sometimes, and yeah, that's kind of why it's now 0.2.
Got it.
Fair-
That makes sense.
fair
I
enough.
mean, if you're still working on stuff, then it makes sense not to be 1.0. You don't want to lock yourself into the APIs and feature set until you're sure it makes sense.
Yep.
So
I'm just gonna
go for
ask
it.
to Hugo because he's watching the screen share. Is it looking good for you, or is just me and my Skype just went weird because I can't really see anything on the screen share, Sebastiano? It's everything like pixelated. Is
Looks
it
good
just
for me.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Also
Ivan.
seem to look good on the
Got-
stream.
Yeah, also that. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna probably wait or restart my Skype.
I can
Anyway, let's
stop
try.
and restart the screen share on Skype. Let's
Would
see
you
if that.
would you mind?
No
Would you
worries.
mind?
No worries. That
Fantastic, thank you.
is it better now?
Looks good now. Yeah, super
Cool.
perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, so I have so many questions, but the first one is like, do we want to try this on our file? Is it the right file to try it, or should we start from scratch?
No, I think we can try it on the bundle app. It's not. Yeah. I think we can try it.
Okay.
It's probably
Let's do this.
you already invested quite some time in the TOML file, so it might not be super spectacular what the plugin is doing in that sense, but let's see how we can integrate it. I think there's one thing I'm not sure about. If you have set up the version updates plugin to basically set the rules for
Well, I
how you want
haven't
to
added the plugin or anything yet, so
No, but I think you have the Ben Mains one in there
Yeah.
somewhere, right? Yeah, because by default that
there you go.
would take the latest of everything, which is probably not what you want. But you can roll with that for now, and then because you don't need to commit anything.
So can you do stuff like restricting to a specific range of versions?
Yeah, so that would all be done in that Ben Mains one.
Okay.
So there are some snippets on their website as well. For example, there's one that says only give me stable versions, but yeah, if you click through that, yeah.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah, so the reject versions if that's the part one. Yeah.
This one. Okay.
So here are two examples where they have a function to figure out which one is a non-stable version just based on the version name. And then if you scroll a little bit down, then they use that function in a block. So
Yeah.
for example, if you see the second one, it says if it's non-stable and the current version is also not stable.
Yeah. So this could
if
make
you're switching
sense.
channels,
Yeah.
if you switch channels for example, then you don't want to take that version. And you can tweak that in multiple ways. So you could, for example, have a condition that you will only take alphas from Compose, but not from other things or something like that.
But there is no easier way to do this essentially than to like you have to put everything in a big chunky task configuration, right?
Well, there isn't for now, but if that's the feedback that you would.
I mean,
no. Currently, because it builds upon that whatever provides the dependencies. So that's still a little bit the Unix idea, right? That you built upon some other tool. So that's why you need to configure it in the dependency updates currently.
Got it. Okay, well, we can try and see how that goes, right?
Yeah, you can also try just not configure it and see what happens.
Yeah.
You get a lot of alpha versions. For showing how the plugin works, that doesn't really change a lot, I think.
So we need to add Maven Central to the plugin repositories. You've done it here, where we've also done it, apparently. I didn't remember. But
yeah,
the
there are
alternative
multiple ways you can do.
Yeah, the alternative way to doing this would be to do it like here, which is also what we've done. We don't need this. That's not needed. Yay. He said breaking everything.
Everything.
I'm not 100% sure if you use ClassPath, if you use the ClassPath
I'm not sure.
if then.
Let's see.
We'll see. Yeah.
I haven't added anything. I just want to see if it breaks as it is. What it builds, even, do you want to remind people about the YouTube giveaway? Well, it fails building,
Yes.
sorry.
I just posted it in the chat, so you can find the YouTube video to comment after you subscribed and liked the video. Well, smash the like button. So if you put mozzarella in the comments, you are gonna participate, fingers crossed, and probably win an IntelliJ license. So we are giving away the ultimate IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate 1 year subscription. It's 100% discount code, so that's quite an amount of money. If you do Android, Java, or desktop, or whatever
Web,
you want to do,
Ruby,
web, you can do.
Why not?
You can do everything you. I mean, you can do everything you want. But the latest Compose for Android, so that's a bummer, but it's also actually supporting the effort to have it as soon as possible. Plus you have an opportunity to do it for desktop. That's a lot of fun. So me and Sebastiano are working on one of our pet projects. It's a desktop app. I mean, the more I say, the more it sounds fast. A desktop app. I mean, it's like, like in the 90s. I love it. So
that would be a program, not an app.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
Back in the day, we called them programs.
Yeah. Programs, So, apparently 1995 called and they want their programs back. But jokes aside, just go to the YouTube video. I'm gonna just post it once again, so you don't. This is the YouTube video that you can use to participate. This is the latest episode that we did with Mark about the Glance library. So, where are we?
I reverted what I had done.
Okay, looks good.
That's always a good strategy.
Yeah. I mean,
now I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, all this plugin syntax, because there are basically two syntaxes for adding plugins, which is.
By the way, I think we could try to do something that I had tried to do, but I didn't manage to do, which is to use the plugin stuff from Toml instead of using the class path. I had tried, it didn't work, but
Let's try again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
do
three of us. I'm pretty sure we can pull it off. Yeah. The last famous word, huh?
yeah. I'm also going to upgrade Gradle just in case to 7.3 because I just realized that we were on 7.2. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, you updated the BIOS, so I mean, Gradle is just piece of cake, right?
Updated the BIOS 15 minutes before we had the setup
let's tell
call.
the whole story. Let's tell the whole story. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just walk the dog. I have 15 minutes before the stream, and I got a message from you saying I'm updating the BIOS, and I was like, fuck me. I mean, what? Yeah, and I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, probably it's an adventurous life. Anyway,
it works.
So what's the legal argument? Yeah, it works.
Good. I don't hear
right?
crackling in my ears anymore. The risk was worth taking.
Yeah. That's such a return of investment. Incredible.
Yeah.
So,
okay, something else broke, which is always good.
Wow.
So
yeah.
where are we? Illegal argument. But what?
Default class loader must be locked before what?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, it's been so Hugo, how's your compose?
No. Wait. Fuck everything. Fuck everything.
Kill it.
Clean project. Also.
Yeah.
And
There was
then
also a question about repositories. I see.
Version catalog view cannot be cast to class libraries for libs. What?
What?
Oh, that's
I like
probably
libraries
your.
for libs.
Yeah, you have this assessor or something.
That
all projects.
That was wrong.
Wow.
Definitely.
Or not.
Well, it was wrong, but no, okay, it was right. It was just cut on the side. That's fine.
So we have a question. Fabio is asking, what does Gradle plugin portal do? What's the difference with Maven Central?
Hugo?
That's line 13.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, Gradle has multiple syntax for getting your plugins. If you use the new plugin syntax, then it will always look at the Gradle plugin portal, which is basically a separate repository. So similar like Maven Central, but it's a separate repository. And if you add them with the class path dependency, then you also need to specify that repository. Otherwise, it won't look there, basically. So,
this is the Gradle plugin repository.
Okay.
Mark
basically another Maven repository just for plugins, hosted by Gradle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is very fucked. That is good.
So what do we do?
He's complaining about that extension above?
No, I think he's complaining again about the class path. Which I'm not sure why it is, because
I haven't seen this one.
Fancy. Okay, so let's try and roll back what we've just done.
Is this the part where I tell you my plugin requires 7.3?
No, I read the README for your plugin. It says 7.2. Don't try to scare me.
Oh, really?
Okay, 7.2 works. So I guess we are on
What's the warning with the XML thing?
It's a warning. It doesn't matter.
What? It's a warning. It's a red warning that I.
Well,
I like
it's red because it's printing it to standard out because reasons. Standard error because reasons. But it's lint or something complaining about, oh, you're using the older version of things. You should really use the alpha that I'm using. Oh, fuck you, Android Studio.
You should really build with the nightly. Only the brave.
What is it complaining about?
But why is complaining? I mean, I don't see
I don't
any
know.
errors.
I don't know. I don't care. I decided I don't care.
I think that's if you have something weird in your Android SDK.
No, I suspect that we're using like an older version of something. SDK XML file. I don't know. I have no idea. Let me check. If you keep on talking, it's fine.
I keep on talking what? I mean, so this thing. So okay. No. Because I'm trying to hijack the conversation like I usually do, and I want to understand something. How do I start building a Gradle plugin?
Oh, how do you start with? So a Gradle plugin is usually made up of two parts. So it's a plugin itself, like the plugin class, and that's actually not that hard. There's a project. I think Gradle already provides some setup for that. So you just have a Java or Kotlin project, and then you add the Gradle dependencies to it for development. And that also generates a descriptor so that you name your plugin something so that you can apply it or add it as a plugin.
Okay, so I'm doing this from command line with the Gradle command, or I'm cloning a template project from somewhere.
Well, it's basically a very simple Java project. Usually, you just create a new Java project and you say it's a Gradle plugin.
I mean, you can even just create a module, right?
Yeah. So in my case, I have a plugin module, and I have. Yeah, you can open the one on GitHub. You can see that you don't need a lot of stuff.
Yep.
You should go to the plugin module here. And
it looks like GitHub is down. Whoops.
Wow.
No.
Come on.
2 seconds ago, it works for me.
Okay, now it works.
No, it was just mega glitch.
I broke GitHub. Yes.
Yeah, you broke GitHub for a split second. I mean, live on Twitch. That was intense.
Yeah. So if you go to the plugin class here, it's actually not that complicated. It's you just override plugin, or you implement the plugin thing.
This is like a Kotlin file, like no Groovy.
No.
This is Kotlin.
I was expecting Groovy. Ah, okay.
Well, you can write these in whatever you want, Java or Groovy or Kotlin. But here you basically get the project that you configured, that you applied your plugin on, and then you do stuff with that project, basically, like you would write in your build file, for example. So in this case,
project is my project. It's like a project object. What can I do with this project object? Okay, so
it's like your module. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever the implicit receiver is in a build.gradle file. Yeah. That's your project.
Okay.
So it's essentially the same as writing in here, as Hugo was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're stuffing all that ugliness away from your build file and into a project in a separate plugin, basically.
Okay.
So in this case, there's not that much going on, but so you can see maybe if you look at line 47, for example, there's something happening. I'm looking for that Ben Mains plugin, and you basically say if this plugin is there, then I'll try to find it, and then I add another task that depends on that first task. That's basically it. All right. So you see the dependency update task. I get a handle to that, and then on line 53, you see I added a new task and I configure it just like I would do in my build file, basically, if you would be writing Kotlin code there. And the task is also something that is provided with the plugin. So the task is basically taking the output from the dependency plugin, which is a JSON file, and writing that to the TOML file, and also reading the TOML file. So this plugin class here is just there to configure the task in the end.
Okay.
So
So-
the meat of the plugin is in the task, right?
Is in the task that it's another Kotlin file,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And even the task is not doing that much because most of the logic is in that other module.
But Ivan is
So the
very
task here-
scared. Ivan is very scared that at some point we'll just get to Groovy, and he's like, "But that's Kotlin as well, right?"
Yeah. I mean, no,
Well,
because I know
well-
I have this impending whatever dynamic typing thing, and I don't want it. But jokes aside, so basically it's just like a few files, and then you apply it, and then that's it.
Yeah. So I could just provide you this task, for example, but then you have to hook it up in your build file. So that's what the
okay.
plugin class is doing for you. And in
So
this task
that's
file,
the
you see,
usual thing that I do, right? I copy paste the task from Stack Overflow, I plug it, I put it in my build Gradle file, and
And then it doesn't work.
We have this new.
You forgot that it doesn't work
because,
part.
yeah, it usually missing some import or some weird stuff. But eventually somebody that understands this stuff takes a shot at it, and now we have a new task that does things. So
yeah.
that task
Or you take
could
existing tasks that you just manipulate in other ways.
Yeah. And then you can actually extract that task and make a plugin out of it, basically.
Right.
Like the gist. So you can
Yeah,
reuse it in every project instead of copy pasting the same shit everywhere.
Exactly. And I think that's
Okay.
also one of the things that that's quite becoming popular as well in the community, where you have, if you're setting up Kotlin all of the same all the time, you do some other common setup, you can potentially move that to a plugin so that you just apply the plugin, and then in that way have a convention on how you apply that, right? And then when that convention changes, you just update your plugin and all your projects will follow. So that's quite nice to do it in that way. So you're not, you're basically trimming your build files by moving some stuff to plugins.
So if at work, for example, all your projects have a common baseline, you can have a plugin that sets that up for you automatically. But what is the impact on configuration time? Because that's something you need to take care of as well, right? You don't want to do crazy shit.
Well, I think it's quite similar to not doing crazy shit in build files. The most important part is that you make sure that everything is configured lazily. So, for example, you see that this input file, output file, well, this is provided by Gradle itself, but it takes a property and not a file, because it will only resolve that file until it's actually needed. So, and that's there are a couple of those constructs in the Gradle API right now that you need to be careful of. If you, for example, try to reference a task, you want to actually want to reference a task provider, so something that will eventually give you the task when it's configured, and not try to reference the task, because if you do that, it will try to configure the whole build, right? And that's not good for your configuration time.
So you just need one bad actor to screw it up for everyone, essentially.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was wondering. Is it just gonna, I mean, one weird plugin is gonna compromise everything? But can you spot it?
It could, yeah. You can spot that in a build scan, for example. You can see that first of all, you spot it because your configuration takes a lot of time, and then in the build scan it will call out what takes a lot of time. Yeah.
The alternative,
build scan other profile. Yeah.
If your configuration starts taking a lot of time, you can buy a new MacBook. That's a good excuse.
Yeah, I mean, that's
cheap fix.
More
it
power,
is not,
right? You just throw another cylinder in there. It's that's how you do it.
I mean, you could spend time optimizing.
I think that's also why it's so great to start with some logic in your build file, so you figure out what you want to do, basically. And then when you're confident that the thing is what you want to do, and that it's also not breaking your builds in some weird ways or is doing weird stuff with configuration time, then you move that code basically to a plugin. And then you already have some kind of testing done in the sense that you have it in your build script files. So
How do
that's
you test this?
usually.
I mean, now
How do I what?
how do you test it? I mean,
How do you test
fire,
this particular?
Okay, but do you run? I mean, do you write unit tests for this stuff? How does it work? I mean, I don't know anything about this. I'm like genuinely asking for like to know.
Yeah. No, it's a good question.
Because
so like
it feels like a lot of stuff is like input output. You know, you're accessing a file here, printing a file there. So testing is. I mean, feels complicated.
Yeah, so here I only have basic tests for my task here because the actual integration, so where is that input coming from, where's that output coming from, that requires Gradle. So the next step for me as well would be to wrap this up in a toolkit that is named TestKit for Gradle, and that basically runs to a Gradle instance with a fake project.
It's like a Roboelectric for Gradle, that thing.
Yeah, sort of. It's actually just running a Gradle build, and then you can assert all kinds of things on it.
It's more like an integration,
testing.
it's more like an instrumentation test on Android. More
than
instrument,
yeah.
else.
So it's running
Right,
a real Gradle thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, but if you can also resort to some manual testing, of course, which is what I have been doing so far. And then I have just a project that references my plugin project, and then you just include it in your build basically. So then you can do
like a library.
Yeah, so you have I think it's called included build as well. So you say you have your separate build, your project, your Android project, for example, and then you say include this build, which is my plugin. So then you can at the same time work on your plugin and test it with your project, and see if it still works in a sort of manual testing shape. And that's of course not great. You eventually want to automate it, but the whole test kit stuff is also a little bit it's some overhead to get started with, right? It's the whole testing pyramid story all over again. So in this case, I focused most of the logic in my plugin is in the other module, and that stuff is all like business logic that is tested, like updating the version.
We have a comment about the test kit by Marcelo, and it's actually it feels like an instrumentation test more and more because they are also slow.
It is an instrumentation test to all intents and purposes.
Yeah. But it's not. At least it's not firing the Android emulator. So
it's spinning up Gradle.
Yeah, I don't know which one is faster.
Fair enough.
It depends.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these ones are the tests you were mentioning, Hugo, right?
Yeah. So my plugin basically does a couple of things. It parses the TOML file, of course, and it tries to make sense of TOML files, and then it maps it to some domain object. So most of the tests are focused on that, so that it parses it correctly, that it writes it out correctly, and that it does the stuff like updating the model correctly. So that's where I focused on for these tests.
That makes sense.
So I would definitely want to add some more coverage to the Gradle part of that, but
Yeah, like all integration tests, they're slow to run and slow to write.
Yeah, exactly. And also not super easy to set up if you're not doing this every day, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, you do have a bunch of tests, and they look like normal tests. Like this is your core logic, right? So you're just running normal unit tests on this.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So do we have any luck integrating this?
I started laughing because I just noticed the package name here, and I was thinking, is this the Visser cinematic universe?
No, it's not. I didn't want to write out the whole version catalog update. I don't know. This started out with a whole different name, which which probably best that I didn't use it. Something like G Tomalizer or something like that. Um, I don't know. I'm bad at naming, so I eventually
Yeah.
thought like
Well,
let's name it something boring, and then we'll see. So if somebody has a great name, then well, I can consider it. But other than that,
we need to create one of those, startup name generator
right?
for software like plugins. So Sebastiano, I missed the Android Studio part. Are we having any luck with integration?
I mean, I stopped when we started talking about Gradle portal,
Fair.
plugin portal and stuff. I
Okay.
rolled back Gradle to 7.2 and sync works
Okay.
again. So that's good. And now I guess we need to add Hugo's plugin to our build.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do this.
That needs to be added to the root Gradle.
Yep. So I can do this. Well,
Yeah, you probably want to do the class path reference, right? Because that's what you did for the other ones.
yeah, although I kind of want to move them all, so I don't know. Should I try to just put it here and see if just yours works with that way? And also this one maybe?
Yeah, I think the problem is a little bit that you mixing and matching these things is kind of icky, and some plugins also need to be applied at the root level. If you yesterday I created a new Android Studio project, and in the new templates they're actually doing it. So you have these plugin blocks, and then they say apply false, which is kind of weird, but that's then necessary because otherwise sub projects don't work or something like that. So.
Okay, fine.
You could just also add it like manually and then see if it adds it, but yeah.
I could, but that would be slow.
Yeah, it would also add a bunch of stuff that you don't want.
Okay, so let's do this, and 0 to 0 goes down here, and I will sync, and it fails.
Did I mention that it will also sort your keys?
Sorry?
What's this?
It's not valid module.
So,
right, because this is the wrong.
Have the package name.
Yeah.
So it's VCU plugin then. Instead of version catalog update. That's the plugin ID. Yes.
And this
colon
here.
Instead of the no, it's .vcu and then, yeah. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, there's this thing where Gradle plugins have an ID, but also they have a package, and depending where you put them is always very confusing and frustrating. Also because there is no clear mapping between the two. Like there isn't a place where you type, like you copy paste the plugin ID and it gives you the coordinates, or the other way around.
Well, there's a trick that they use, right? So every Gradle plugin, so if you have version catalog update, it deploys an artifact to whatever Maven repository you're using, and appends .gradle.plugin, and then it has a dependency on the actual thing. So that's how they basically find out, what the actual artifact is that they need to fetch. And I also ran into some issues with that, because to figure out which dependencies actually plug in, that's not trivial, and Maven Gradle won't tell you either. So what I'm actually doing is figuring out or looking at the jar files and see if there's a Gradle plugin descriptor in there, and then figuring out what the plugin IDs are. So that's maybe a little bit hacky, but for now I don't think there's a better way.
Okay.
Because you want to see if it updates. Yeah,
it is syncing. Yeah, that's good. I decided to reindex everything as it's custom when you use version catalogs.
Right.
but it's added.
Okay.
Oh wait, do I need
Nice.
to add? Do I need to do this though?
No, not anymore. I think it's still in the docs, but I think
Aha! Your
I'm not
docs
sure
were
it's still in
lying.
the docs. I
Yeah,
think I have
If-
removed
if
it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. I need to update that. Yeah.
Let me
Well,
do
we
a pull
we can do a pull request, Sebastian. Let's do a pull request live.
Yes, yes. Let's
So
do that. Ah, fuck.
we end up in the contributor list. Woohoo!
Exactly for free.
Oh yeah. I already have some other pull request fixing a typo, so I'm happy to merge that.
Yay!
Wow.
Wait.
Remove everything.
Let's make it better. Do you like it?
Yeah,
Good.
looks good.
No, come on. That's brutal.
Okay. Fine.
Move wrong assumptions. You can say it's all a lie.
I mean, yeah, we we can timestamp the stream, so you can clip. We can clip
Can
this.
something
code.
click? Yeah, can someone click?
And
click
folks,
it?
this is not how you do pull requests to open source projects.
No. Wow, but it's not even how is like a Hacktober, whatever bullshit it is. This is like no, this is just not. Don't do that.
Oh, README was wrong. That's a good description.
Yeah.
Better description.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there are a couple of options that you might want to consider on an existing project.
Mhm.
So if you scroll a little bit down, because like I said, it will by default clean up stuff and sort stuff and adds. It will not add stuff. So you might want to add maybe. Well, we can sort it. It will probably shovel the whole file now, I guess.
Yeah, I think
If
let's
it's not
try and run
sorted.
it how it is and then see how it goes, I
Sure.
guess.
Let's see the diff. Let's see the diff.
By the way, is this supposed to have a task name here?
Yeah. If
Okay.
you can update your pull request, that would be great.
Let's do this! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Damn, the community is strong in this one.
Yeah. Well, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Can you still edit it now? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you can. Hell yeah.
Damn. That was not a lie.
Oh.
I mean, that was just missing.
yes. We switched to full open source. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Appreciate it.
oh yeah.
I would send
I'm
you.
actually-
I would just send you stickers, but I don't have any. So.
Well, you
Okay.
you can
Well,
send us
but we-
music. We'll play it.
Yeah, we are gonna probably just steal some of your tracks for the close music.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, I've been trying to create something, but it's like
No worries and no
don't
rush.
hard.
Okay,
No,
so now I need to
I'm just-
run the task, right?
Yep.
And let's try and see. Oh yeah, I haven't applied it. That might be
Oh yeah, that's
might be
still
necessary. What was the plugin ID again?
and now little robots and then version dash and version catalog. Yeah. Update.
Okay.
Update, I think. No. Not plural. Yeah, it's annoying because there's already a version catalog plugin from Gradle itself. So otherwise I would name it like that, but that would be too confusing, I suppose.
So Corin Pizza saying that yesterday he had some issue with Gradle 7.3 and he had to update the Gradle under Gradle plugin. And it was some kind of mess between the Gradle version, AGP, and Android Studio. Yeah, That might be what we were having. I just rolled back the Gradle version for now, but we can try and see if that works later. Okay,
Well, I think
so
if you run the catalog update, then we'll probably bump your Gradle HTTP as well.
what?
Oh, nice. Nice.
Well, I'm not sure if it bumps it to the version
It will
you want, but-
definitely bump it to Canary. At that point, I will sync, and Android Studio will be like, "Oh no, but I'm Bumblebee. You cannot do that. Sorry, bye,"
yeah.
and close itself and go cry in a corner or something.
But I mean, it's kind of great that you can potentially just run this on CI like every day, and then make a pull request out of it automatically,
Just like
and then
Ah,
check if it still works. And then,
basic dependabot thing.
yeah.
yeah.
But that's also why I like
Why not?
the TOML approach a little bit more than having code that you write for your dependencies, because now
Yeah.
you can have it in a separate file and you can update that separate file, and then you see a diff of that. So
Yeah, I really like the fact that the stuff is here, like for myself, for my day job, because it's much easier to deal with this than with arbitrary code that people can write somewhere, and then you have to try and figure out what it says and what it does. Also, because then there's like that garden variety of version update plugins out there, and each one of them does things in a different way.
Exactly.
Each one of them has pros and cons, and there's all weird sort of shit. The refresh versions one that was mentioned in the chat earlier, I think is the one that has the most features, but at the same time is the one that has the most custom way of working and declaring things, and I don't love that. So
that's the one that writes a property file, right? With
Yeah.
all the versions, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I don't know. I'm very curious on what people are using for the updates, and if it's feasible to maybe. I mean, if you think this plugin would be useful to you, if it would be feasible to integrate with those plugins as well, because I can imagine that the dependency updates plugin doesn't always cut the use case, or is slow, or has other
So-
issues.
having spent a good 2 months in the past few months trying to figure out a sensible way to sort versions on Maven Central and how to decide when something is an upgrade or not, I can tell you for sure none of those plugins do it right. I'm still
No,
not
it's
doing
very
it
messy,
right.
right?
I'm doing it good enough, but it's such a mess. There's all sorts of weird shit out there.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's also why I try to avoid that whole problem. I think I don't think I can solve that in a couple of weeks coding time or something like that. I think I could probably take something that's already existing and then
You can
yeah,
take
see.
the code that I wrote. It's an IntelliJ community, so it's Apache. If you want, it's
Okay.
there.
I think I
Um,
would be more leaning towards creating a separate plugin that does that or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
don't know.
sure, that also
Yeah.
works. If someone wants to take that code and make a plugin out of that, again, it's Apache too, so it's fine.
Yeah.
We have a question
Yeah.
Was it-
in the chat. Mark is asking if a question for Hugo. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, yeah.
figured, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, so you ran the create on the project and includes a lot of dependencies. Yeah, so that is more or less expected in the sense that this is what the dependency update plugin will report in their file. So it will, for example, will report the dependencies that the Kotlin plugin might add, or for example, if you do data binding, then the HTTP plugin will also add some libraries that you generally do not need to have in your file. And yeah, so that's why I said in the beginning, it's not super useful to add dependencies like that. It might be a cool starting point, but you still need to comb through to the dependencies that are added. One way to do this, you could like use the generated one, edit it a little bit, and then go back into your dependencies and use the TOML references, and then run it again, and then we'll just clean out all the stuff that you don't really. Well, that's not true. It will still be referenced. So yeah, you really have to clean it up. So it kind of depends on what is useful for that.
By the way, this has run in the meantime. There's a lot of changes, but I think it's mostly white space.
Yeah, there's some. It has some opinions on how you format stuff, and
Can I format properties files? I think I can. Properties.
it's a TOML. It's even a TOML code style. Wow.
Oh wait, no, it's TOML. It's not that. Yeah, it doesn't have any configuration.
Yeah,
Fancy stuff.
TOML can also do a lot of weird stuff.
But I guess what I can do is YOLO it and be like, I just want to see the minimum amount of changes that it had done without
Yeah.
white space stuff.
It probably also sorted a couple of things now.
Yeah, I definitely did. Although I thought they were sorted, but
Already, right?
yeah, they were probably
But you can
sorted
already-
by
can,
hand,
for
so
example, already-
probably wrong.
Yeah, but you can already see that it, for example, kept your version references that you already had, right?
Yeah,
That's,
yeah,
that's kind of a tricky part to make sure that you're not messing up those things. And if you wouldn't have had them, then, for example, for Compose, it would have added one so that you can have one version for all these things.
But it would
So that's-
would it keep the version.ref when you have more than one with the same version, or does it always create a version for you? Like, how does it work?
I think currently I'm trying to figure out which is the most used reference. So if you have some 0.1.0, for example, and use it in multiple places, and then like, let's say 5 out of 10 are, oh, no, 5 out of 10 is a bad example probably. Let's say 6 out of 10 are being updated to a new version, then it will update that version and probably create another one for the things that are left behind. But it will look at the group for that. So if you have everything in Android X activity and you have multiple modules referenced, then it will say, oh, Android X activity apparently is at some common version, which is generally, I think, that should work. But yeah, that's exactly the stuff that I like to find out if these assumptions are solid.
Yeah, I am bad at sorting things alphabetically, turns out.
Yeah, so now it's interesting that it also, oh, the desugar is already there.
Yeah, it was just
added
before Coil, just moved it down. And I think, yeah, this was probably down here. Yeah, it was in the wrong place. Yeah, it looks like it mostly sorted things, and it might have changed some, like it did change some versions as well. Like
Yeah.
accompanies,
But-
but this
Okay,
one, like,
so it works.
this is when I say that a lot of the libraries of the plugins out there do versions updates wrong. This is
Wrong.
what I mean. This is clearly wrong. It's not your fault,
Yeah.
Hugo. I know that's the Ben Main's versions plugin. But yeah, this, like, you should not blindly apply things in most cases. Like, it's fine to run a plugin to do that for you, but do review what comes out of it, because
Yeah, and this is something that Tim wrote in the chat. If you check the comment that he wrote, they actually do something similar, and I think it's an interesting approach.
yeah, I agree with.
Yeah, but
Tim.
I think I also agree with him, because when I update dependency manually, I just see what's new and then decide what I want to update to. But yeah, I think still I think how I would use the plugin currently, well, this is kind of like an extreme because you didn't configure the dependency, the Ben mains one. But if you have that to something that is acceptable, then I would just go over this file and look at the diff and see if there are weird things, and I would run the app, of course, to see if everything works. I wouldn't necessarily trust on automatic. Well, I wouldn't just update, commit it, and be done with it, right?
By the way, I
that's not
just
really
realized
smart.
that I said something really stupid. Like, this is the older version and this is the newer version. It's correct. Oops.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it
it's
did do
correct.
that.
But it does, like, I have seen things where the update plugins get tripped by the fact that like a version looks newer, but has an older timestamp, so it doesn't really pick it up. And there's
because in the end it's doing something with, it's just adding a plus sign to your dependency and see whatever Gradle finds, right?
Yeah, and the Gradle doesn't necessarily know for sure what is the latest. I think it generally just takes the literally latest, which is why you should never use the plus in your code. It's fine for the plugin to do it, but you should never do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the plugin is doing to actually detect which one is the latest version. It's not because it's gonna use. I mean, you shouldn't use it as like library version in your code, but the plugin is doing it because you don't know how to get the latest version, so you do the plus. It fetch something, and then you retrieve the version from whatever you fetched.
Yeah. So what the Ben mains one is then saying, after it determines what is the latest version, then you can either veto that version. For example, you can say, well, I don't want any alpha version, so I don't want anything that has RC in it. So that's how that Ben mains version handles that. So I think ideally, it might be, for example, it might be a nice idea to have some common rules or something like that you can apply on that plugin. But I'm not really sure if that's something that belongs in this in the catalog update plugin, because that would more or less be configuring that other plugin. Yeah, so I'm not sure about it. I think it could be helpful, but I don't know what the right approach would be. But because I think it's still hard to configure that other plugin correctly, right? So that's the part that I'm a little bit struggling to see how that pans out in a real project.
Yeah.
Sebastiano, can I say line 20, the Gradle KSP plugin? What the fuck is going on with that version?
Because KSP, the way it works is it has the Kotlin version that it targets, and then the KSP itself, the version. So it's a compound version, and good luck sorting that. This is just the most recent one, which is fine. But if they now release a 1.5.31 something, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, so if you would write a common rule for this, then you definitely have to know what Kotlin version am I on, and then figure out which KSP version am I pulling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure if the Ben mains one can do that, because it looks at each version separately. So you have to specify somewhere that you want to be on Kotlin 1. something.
Yeah, I don't know like how easy that would be. By the way, another example of things that are impossible to sort. Let me introduce you to the YouTube Data API version scheme. Good luck with that.
I mean we were using this in the desktop app, and I was like, well, I strongly disagree. You know that my first emotional reaction to that version, I was like, I strongly disagree. I disagree. How can you do that?
And they seem to release stuff every now and then, but they changed the version scheme. At some point, it's become the date, I think. But at the same time, you're like, oh yeah, 1.32.1, but you have like 6 versions of that.
On 6 different dates, yeah. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Please use semantic versioning.
Okay. So should we run the build and see what happens?
I'm sure stuff is going to be probably broken. Most likely broken. But let's see.
That's true.
Did you refer Kotlin?
That's true.
I mean, there's a Kotlin version bump. There's Compose is still on the beta, so that's fine. Like Compose was on beta 2, now it's beta 3. That's fine. But there is definitely stuff that is going to break too. Why are we using data store snapshot? Fuck's sake, no. No. No.
But this is part of the thing that Hugo was saying before, right? I mean, you could actually add some configuration for those filters. Like, I don't want those snapshots. I don't want. I mean, I can live with beta, but I don't want alpha. You know, so that would be interesting.
I mean,
Or only upgrade to another alpha if I'm already on an alpha version. That's
yeah.
That's all. The problem with that a little bit still is that it's all custom stuff that you still have to put in your build files. So I'm sort of playing in my head with the idea to somehow provide that config for Android, for example. We know that you compose or that your Kotlin and your KSP needs to be on the same version. That's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, as Mark was pointing out while this builds, because I think it has to download half of the internet at this point. The reason why it probably went with data store snapshot is because we have the.
Oh no, Jesus! Minimum supported version.
Who is complaining about us? Compose? No. Oh, Android. Oh, thank you, Android. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see how that goes. Maybe with the newer Android Gradle plugin. Nope, it does not.
Yeah.
Bump, 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 bump. Does this work with the RC version? Wait, it's 0.1. No, it is not. Fuck. What was it saying?
What was in there?
I forgot. It was complaining it wants 7.3 something. But I think I'll just revert the update to
Marcelo is suggesting -1, RC -1, because also Gradle people, you know, doing versioning right.
We can also go back and paste in that example from the dependency plugin and see how
we
less
can
terrible.
also we'll also do that. We'll also do that. I think we can do both.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what is the difference at the end of the day. So I'll get the file at the end. I'll copy it and then I'll compare with what comes out.
Because you now basically building everything from head.
Yes.
More or less.
Okay.
Okay. No, it's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, it was the thing that I wanted to see. That's okay.
Yeah. So at some point, I'm going to create a library that says, you know, version 1.0 _ parenthesis 1 _ final _ copy. And then I just want to see Sebastiano sorting that shit out in package search.
No, like fun fact, the package search version sorting code needs to do some pre-processing on things to try and figure out, like there's, I think, 30 regular expressions that I use.
Wow.
Plus, is it still using? I think it's 2 or 3 regular expressions plus a whole lot of datetime parsers configured in all the possible sensible ways, and it tries to understand, like, is this version a semantic version? Hooray! Is this version a timestamp? Because you also do get that. Or is this version something else that we cannot sort? And the something else, I've affectionately called it the garbage tier, because it's garbage.
The garbage tier.
Like the name of the version is garbage. You cannot use it to sort.
So you just don't list them? How does it work?
No, I just sort them by timestamp. Like if someone has the version name that is a git commit hash, that tells me nothing. So the only thing I can do is use the timestamp if there is one.
Yeah. Enough.
Yeah, so
And you also
I
can
need
send
to
like some message, like passive aggressive message to the developer.
No, it's only in the code. It's not printed anywhere saying or your version name is shit. It's just for me, my code knows it's garbage and it cannot use it.
But it could be a feature request.
I'm not sure
Just
it's a good idea.
Yeah, because you're such a nice person.
I know.
So
Please
how
name your version normally.
Yeah.
appropriately, like
I need to
Yes.
take over the whole Gradle and Maven version committee and then I can make decisions and then you're fucked.
Mhm.
So I am going to roll back some things that I think is like good idea, not for survival's sake, not updating. Let's see if it works. Because that would be nice.
Okay, getting close.
Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I get excited.
Why
It's
is it
also
downloading?
downloading half of the internet already.
I think there's still a bunch of things that it hadn't downloaded earlier.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
there's a bunch of new versions, so we need to get the
Yeah,
jars.
that makes sense.
It's kind of the annoying
But thank
thing.
you for like proving my point why I'm not doing any dependency resolution myself in the plugin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is generally speaking a bad idea. I would like to extract some of that logic from the IntelliJ code and maybe publish it as a library, but it's not that easy because it depends on other things and I need to untangle that first. But I would like to. Because I think it would be useful for the ecosystem at large.
And I think there's also some weirdness in Gradle where, how you resolve these dependencies.
Yeah,
It's
they also they have their own
kind of
way.
witchcraft.
Yeah, they have their own way of resolving things, which, if I recall correctly, is based on Ivy, which is what the version scheme is based on in Maven. So it's like turtles.
Yeah.
And at some point, you're running a piece of code that was written 25 years ago, and nobody knows why. But that's how everything works. So you don't want to run a different piece of code. You want to run that piece of code.
Yeah, and then you want to have basically a Windows ini file.
Yeah.
And call it toml and hip.
Come on,
It's all
Gradle.
cycled.
Come on, Gradle.
To spice it up. Getting
I
there.
still think it's a good idea. Toml is nice.
Why
and
are we
also nice
using
that you can share these
KPT?
things.
Because
Are we using KPT?
there is one thing that doesn't have KSP support.
Hilt.
Yeah.
Fucking hilt.
Hey,
Daggers.
it still works better than the alternatives.
No. I'm taking the fancy hash map every day of the
It's
week.
not fancy. That's the whole point.
No.
It is a hash
I mean,
map.
It worked.
That's it.
It worked. It works perfectly on project of any size that I worked on in the last few years, and the mental overhead. It's unbelievably smaller than Hilt. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you have
as
that
much
extra.
as I love.
You have that extra adventurous part where you don't know it's going to crash at runtime, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but that's the
joy.
beauty, the lives that we live, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems to work.
Okay.
So looks good. We have a weather forecast.
Yeah.
Sebastiano,
It,
get a jacket.
I cannot see if it's misty, it's too dark, but in the northern plains of Italy,
you can see it because it's too foggy.
It was misty the other day all of a sudden, and the dog freaked out because because we have like a glass door at the entrance, and at some point I turn around here in the window and I was like, okay, welcome to Silent Hill, and we're fucking Silent Hill, and then the dog went at the front door and he freaked out because it was white, but it was it was nice. I mean, not for him, but for me, I'm a bad person, but it was funny.
Okay, so I would say let's try and okay, I will copy paste this, and I will also revert everything, and now we can try and set up the things that Hugo was saying here, like this. Disallow
Yeah.
candidates, blah blah
Yes,
blah.
Yeah.
I think you would have the
I need to
use the
copy
Kotlin
this
version, I think.
stuff here, right?
Yep.
So I need to.
It's already kind of ugly that you're copying code in your build files.
It should be in the
that's the way it
plugin,
is.
right?
There should be
Yeah,
a
so-
flag in the plugin.
I don't get why this is
more
not
than
in the plugin.
Yeah. Leave this simmer a little bit. to
Oh,
figure out
you
the bug.
sweet summer child. That's not gonna work well.
Come on, Sebastiano. If you know better, pull requests are open.
Dude, that's the problem. As I said, there's a whole
Version can be
library
anything,
that
right?
does
So,
that
yeah.
that I have in IntelliJ,
Yeah.
but I need to take it out. Until then, I cannot just
Yeah.
just pull request it because it's a lot of stuff and a lot of test
Yeah,
cases
imagine.
as well. Okay, so
Oh, let's go with this. Let's go with this.
should I just do it in the tasks configuration
Yeah,
here?
on the root.
Okay.
Yeah, on the root. Is this yeah? Oh, that's probably
See?
different in Kotlin DSL. Is there a Kotlin DSL?
Oh.
I think the problem is that this
Yeah.
one is not putting the type.
Yeah, I think this is the Groovy syntax.
Okay. Well, more pull requests for the docs. So we have a Kotlin version now.
Well, it's not my docs.
Yeah.
In this
Well,
case,
still pull requests.
more pull. That's more community engagement.
Yeah.
Cha-ching. Okay, now it likes
Okay.
this. It doesn't like
And doesn't this one?
this because it would be. How is it
This?
this? Well, whatever.
I think no, just yeah.
Huh.
This is kind of weird. Yeah, it works.
Okay, let's try and sync again.
Smooth.
Oh, fuck off. Have I? No, it's
So
fine.
we have a suggestion. Generics probably could also work instead of passing the class.
All right. Yeah. Absolutely. But doing generics,
do the fancy things.
doing generics when you don't know the class name is a bit more complicated.
Oh yeah, but now we know.
So now we can
So,
actually
thank
do it.
you.
It looks nicer.
Thank
yeah.
you,
Look
Atul.
at that. This is so meta. So we are actually live streaming improvement to the documentation of a project where people are improving the stuff that we write. I love it.
You removed the plugin from the catalog.
All right, I did.
This is very meta.
Yeah.
Fine. Did I ever mention how much I love this feature?
The history,
The clipboard history.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It is
That's so
so
good,
good. And here again, and it is the Gradle version catalog updates. There you go. Okay, let's try now. I should have probably just committed this as it was. I actually should probably just do that. Is this just the revert? I think it is. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, it's my version of the metaverse.
Now that I have emojis, I will put emojis.
Yeah, actually, yesterday I had a bit of a trauma because I used an emoji in my code and it was the old green one. I was like, man, that thing broke. And then I realized, no. I did it in IntelliJ. This is Android Studio because I'm doing Compose. And then I say, okay, where was the menu? I was not able to find it. I was like,
Control
I need to check
Shift
the
A
documentation.
boot.
But I searched for boot. No, I searched for class path. So yes, never gonna happen. Boot. Okay, now I know. Because I also searched for Java and I got like a gazillion results.
No
So,
shit, you're looking for
probably-
Java.
Yeah, in IntelliJ, I was like, this is not gonna work. I mean, I can keep scrolling for a long time. It's not gonna. Anyway. Okay, so where are we? Can we
So
run
there's
this?
actually a question in the chat from Fabio saying, I do this in my pet project, tasks with type, and then the type. Do you think it's better? The thing is, this is the same as typed with type, but also you pass the name, because you might with type will take all the tasks that are declared with that type. In this case, we want only this task with this type. So that's the main difference. And that's
I'm not sure
why
if with type also bombs out if it doesn't exist.
maybe? I'm not sure, I don't remember.
Name does, because name does. If that task happens to not exist, then it will yell at you.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it does throw.
Unknown task exception. Yeah, it does throw.
Yeah,
Indeed.
I'm not sure if with type does that. It might do.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so that's
Depends what you want, I guess.
yeah.
But like with type,
In reality, it probably doesn't.
Yeah, with type, you generally use it to set things on that aren't like, it's not critical if no tasks work with that. Like if no tasks match, that's fine. With type, whatever. If there's anything that has that type, then it's good. Otherwise, doesn't matter. So for example, here or here, we use with type, but especially because we don't want to specify the name of the tasks. We want to have all the test tasks or all the detect tasks. So that's the main, to me, in my head, that's when I use one and when I use the other. When I'm specifically looking for one task, I use named. And when I'm not, I use with type. If they have a custom
all
type.
Of them.
Yeah. Okay, let's try and run this. Did I run it again? I think I already ran it. Oh, well.
Oops, I ran
You
it
did?
again.
Yeah, probably. It looks like I did, yes. Okay.
A lot of spaces.
Yeah, but it's better now. So,
This calls for a configuration parameter, Hugo.
okay,
And
so
we can call it
The formatting, you mean?
SAB formatting enabled, true or false.
Yeah.
uh,
Say set or sab?
SAB, the SAB
That
formatting.
formatting
enabled.
enable. Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna gonna come as a pull request that it's gonna be very awkward to reject. But yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna fit.
okay,
But,
so,
so
you can see some differences. Mind that some things we reverted by hand. So, for example, KSP, we had changed by hand. Kotlin, we had changed by hand. But, for example, this one, now it doesn't try to update protobuffer to 4.0 RC.
Okay.
And
so
detect, it doesn't try to update to DRC. But it's still kinda
it didn't match so I'm what I'm looking at, so on the right
still tries
panel,
to do this.
It's on the right panel is the output of the plugin, right?
Yeah, this is the newest output, this is the previous output.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so
was in the data store then? what did you use a snapshot in data store? Or
No,
before?
this was something that I had reverted by hand, but I just wanted to point out that the snippet we pasted doesn't consider snapshots, so it didn't consider snapshot unstable,
Yeah.
which it
It
should
doesn't.
have.
I think they're.
I
thought it
I
did.
check.
think because
Oh, right.
Release final and GA.
Mhm.
It does it the other way around, right? It says if it needs to have release final GA.
Yeah, if the
where?
candidate is not stable and the current version is stable, but for whatever reason, I still consider this to be okay,
Yeah, that's strange.
which is weird.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
expect that. No.
But I mean,
Yeah,
pretty much.
that's why I was wondering if you had a snapshot or something else in there, but apparently not.
Yeah, I can revert this. Fuck off. That was a stupid idea. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
this,
so it was
this updates, but yeah, it was.
It wasn't. It was just unstable.
Data store was stable, yeah, 100,
0.
and it should stay to
Weird.
100. But for some reason, it updates it to 110.
So I wonder. So the glance one, it hasn't changed because there is only the 100 snapshot, right? So
Yes. Yeah.
Also because we were using the snapshot and the library found the snapshot.
You need
So
to
that's
remember
it.
the way AndroidX snapshots work, which is that the actual snapshot version you're using depends.
It's in the path.
Depends
The
on
build path.
this. This is the actual snapshot version you're using.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, and I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I mean,
but
it could probably be worth copy this thing and putting it as a comment on the library version. But again, because I completely forgot about this looking at the TOML file, but now I remember because we discussed this with Mark. So, a comment could bridge the knowledge, but this is just me being old. Anyway. Yeah.
I hope at some point soon-ish that we'll get out of snapshots and we can get rid of this.
Why, you mean like pre-alpha? Getting like a...
No, at some point it will get to,
boost of...
001 alpha 1. And then we won't need the snapshot thing anymore.
Fair enough.
And by the way, regarding comments in these files, they're still that's a difficult problem still, because I'm rewriting this file and I'm also parsing the TOML file, and the parser doesn't emit any comments, so it's quite hard to retain them if you.
Not only that, but if you're sorting things,
exactly.
How the fuck do you deal with comments?
No,
exactly.
I will put them at the end of the line, right? Like a one snapshot //
I'm not
this
sure
is for
it's
that.
supported.
I was not even.
Might be, I don't know.
I mean, this looks like a property file, so I don't know, right? Could it work?
Somebody actually raised that issue on the. Nice. Somebody actually raised that issue, but it's technically it's a hard problem to solve, to keep the comments, because it currently works.
Gradle
but you could also we'll be looking at the diffs, of course, and then
indexing all the things.
Yeah, when you update the version catalog, it does that. But yeah, you can, if you roll it back and you put a comment here.
Yeah, that would work. Then you can diff it.
This will work, right?
Well, it will probably.
But it will strip it.
It will be gone.
It will strip
it.
It
will still
Update the file. Yeah. Ciao.
Bye.
Comment.
But yeah, to be honest, not
makes sense.
So entirely sure like how useful comments here would be, because then you need to remember, especially when you're putting a comment here for something that is actually related to stuff that is elsewhere. So I'm not entirely sure where would be the best place to put it. On one hand, it would be here. Like, this is why I don't particularly like this way of doing things, is that because this knowledge here, it's somewhere else. And it's not encoded in the version. Like, this could have been literally whatever, like this.
Yeah.
But it is not.
But then again, this snapshot is now more or less stable, right? It's a literal snapshot of that build.
Yeah, but if you just have the number here.
Yeah. She would just version that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can have
not
dev or build or something like that.
Yeah. They're sort of mixing it up right now.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah, because
it's not an external snapshot in the way that Maven snapshot usually work. That you just get the latest and greatest.
Well, the latest and broken, guess.
Most broken, yeah. Depends on which
nightlies,
repository.
all the nightlies. But yeah, I think
it works on my machine.
Yeah, today, but you don't know tomorrow.
Yeah,
might always break. Yeah, I think. I mean, we kind of made it work. I think it's pretty much done. I don't know if there's something else you wanted to point out. One thing I would say I should not probably commit the version changes. I'll probably leave in your plugin, but not the version changes because, as we were discussing earlier, it's a bit reckless to just update all the things without really testing them.
Yeah, and I think especially when you do this for the first time, it will be more dramatic, right? If you do this for example, you run this on CI and have a branch where it keeps updating.
Yeah.
Then you also have more of an incentive to regularly check if these updates make sense, if you want to apply them or not. So I think in that sense, it could still be useful. I can understand, but that is very intimidating if you just run the plugin and everything is updated. That's definitely also not what I would recommend. You always want to check if those updates actually make sense, if they do what you want.
Yeah, the main story here is to use this in a CI. Have a CI open, pull requests whenever there's something to update, and then you can manually review it. Ideally, someone checks out the branch, runs it, makes sure it works, and then approves and merges, right?
Yeah, I think that would be my recommended approach. What I usually do on projects is that once every, I don't know, before release, after release, whatever, we do some manual checks, and those can now be more frequent and a little bit more automated, I think. So that's where I would see the benefit of this. But you could definitely run this every couple of weeks or something like that. And if you're tracking the latest versions, then yeah, it should be all right. I guess the changes shouldn't be that much.
Yeah, if you do it on Thursday, the day after the Compose updates drop,
exactly,
every 2 weeks, then you're fine. I mean,
yeah,
there's Android X stuff dropped pretty much every week, I think, but still, you maybe want to track Compose if you're using Compose, something like that. Ivan.
Dimmy.
Let's get a sticker winner.
A winner.
Yes.
Let's get a winner. Beautiful people. Let's roll it. 1, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Ta-da! Coding pizza.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations for the stickers.
But when you do your own stickers, we want your stickers.
Also that. Okay, so let's see. Well, it turns out I already have your address, so I'm just gonna ship them.
See, this is the Italian way.
This is it's not the Italian way. He won already in September, so that's why.
Fine.
So it's not 90 days, so we are GDPR compliant. So
I would also like to remind everyone to do.
I can confirm or deny, Pashi. I'm sorry.
I want to remind everyone, you still have, I'll give you 5 minutes to do the YouTube thing if you want the IntelliJ license. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I'm also gonna run a timer. Let's go.
Good. Oh yeah, you have the fancy timers, right?
Well, I have the fancy timer. I bought one of these things, right? Look at this. How cool is it?
Fuck. I'm just waiting for those to go on sale. If they will go on sale. I'm hoping for like, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that sort of stuff.
Buttons. No, I'm trying to understand if I can do more with this thing, because they also have like a plugin system that you can build your own stuff.
Fancy.
Yeah, but I'm
plugins now.
working. Yeah, everything is a plugin, but I'm working on apps at the moment, so I need to finish the apps. And plus I also need to update the design for my tablet.
It's not done yet.
No, I'm working on Caprese, so I'm actually waiting. I need to finish this one, but I'm making progress. I mean, the app still looks like, I mean, it's okay-ish. This is what I need to send to the designer, so then they can tell me what to fix. And I have like a couple at the moment. I don't know if you can see.
Way too bright.
Can't see shit.
No.
Can't say shit. So the idea is just for now it's just a couple of cards view, but I figure out that having something like this that works but it looks weird gives me a lot of like opportunities to explain to the designer how I want things, right? So the idea is that the MVP, the ugly MVP, it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
So they just can point out how to redo the UI, but I already have the models, I already have the repositories, I already have everything behind. So and then I can plug the UI.
Darth Kali wants the dark mode. Sorry, Ivan. But like the business person in me would say behind the paywall.
Wow, that's brutal. No, I'm gonna go ads all the way. No. I you know that ads are my way of doing apps.
I know.
But I mean, jokes aside, you can always do the like in-app purchase to remove the ads and add the dark mode. Why not, right? The only thing that I'm not comfortable is subscriptions at the moment. It feels like a bit overwhelming for a single indie developer pet project kind of thing. I don't know, that makes me anxious. The subscription and people are paying every month, and then you need to support them. It's too much of a.
Or you cannot
burden.
support them and just get the money and run.
Yeah, it's like I try to call the support. Oh, let me look for the support ticket. Oh, here you go, your support ticket. No. I'm better than that.
The flip side,
Anyway,
is also true, by the way.
Ivan, put the YouTube video URL in the chat, and also remind people what's the keyword, because I don't think we have done that.
Yeah, I have it here. Wait, I have it. Hugo, what were you saying?
I was about to say that the flip side is also true. For my app, I have in-app purchases, but it's also 11 years old. So sometimes I get somebody really wanting something because they paid like 9 years ago a couple of euros. Right?
Well, where's my feature, Hugo?
You can never do it right.
Where's my feature?
Yeah, there is no. Wait, it's not this one. I messed up the link. Sorry.
Don't listen to Ivan's comments in the Twitch chat. They're wrong.
No, actually,
they are a lie.
No, because
it's a theme today.
Also, this one. It's this one. The keyword. Come on, man. There are just give. Yes, the joy of doing this live. Here you go.
Hashtag being prepared. That's our style.
Yeah. You know what? I usually have I have the one for the giveaway, the live giveaway, but I don't have this one. But now you have everything. So
let's give them a couple extra minutes just in case.
Yeah.
We done goofed.
But this. So just because we are wrapping up, and I'm still fascinating about how can I extract my tasks from Gradle to a plugin. how do you deploy this? Is it like a library? Do you have like there is a Gradle task to build a Gradle plugin and deploy it?
Yeah. It's even if you want to deploy to the Gradle plugin portal, it's even a little bit easier, I think. So you have you have a Gradle plugin to write a Gradle plugin to start with, and there's also a plugin to publish to the Gradle plugin portal. But because I had all my stuff on Maven Central already, then I choose not to. But yeah, I think that's pretty well documented in the Gradle docs as well, how you do that. And the Gradle plugin itself, that takes care of generating the proper metadata for your plugin so that it actually is discovered by Gradle, and that has to, like I mentioned, they deploy basically two things to the plugin portal, two POM files. So that all gets generated if you apply that plugin. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
much
that's
easier than
nice.
it used to be, where you had to create the metadata file yourself and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's much easier these days, I think.
Yeah. I think I did that in the APT days, adding it myself and then
Crying inside, curling up in a corner, and be like, I just wanted to play music.
Yes. And now I'm coding.
But jokes aside, I mean that screenshot that you said the other day. No, it was like a stream. It was not a screenshot. It was a stream because I clicked and then you were actually showing there was so many switches, toggles, and sliders. And I was like, how can you reason about this thing? It was overwhelming.
That's funny that you call it reason, because the actual DAW is also called reason. Yeah, I don't know. It's at some point you get a little bit blind of all these options, but there is some structure in there because most of the synthesizers and stuff, they have similar options. So if you know what these buttons do, then you can navigate other synths as well. But combining all these things is the fun part, of course. But
I think that's the unique part about Reason, the software, is that it's very bent on skeuomorphism, where you're actually connecting racks and wiring them like you would in a physical rack, which is quite fascinating.
Yeah, and the fact that it now usually it used to be only that. So the separate windows that you see are actual VST plugins. So now Reason also supports that, but that makes it extra messy because otherwise you would have everything in the rack, and you can choose to either, like you say, you can do with the cables, you can route it yourself, or you can just leave that alone. And so there are different levels at how you can complicate things in Reason now. But yeah, I try to make some music once in a while and try to stream it a couple of times, and yeah, it's interesting. It's fun.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed a couple of things. So I'm gonna just quickly running the thingy.
Chop.
Run. Bam! Here you go. Let's pass the link. And congratulations, Cecilia Q. I'm gonna just reach out on.
Is that a bot?
No, I think it's. I don't know. I mean, there was also an emoji, so it's
no.
super
It looks like a real person.
And congratulations. I'm just gonna reach out on. Yeah, we are all bots.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a blue pill, red pill kind of thing. But I'm just gonna reach out on YouTube, and then we can give you the license. Congratulations again. Anything else?
Well, I think as we wrap up, very important to remind everyone, do join on Wednesday. It's gonna be fucking crazy. It's going to be wild.
Why do you say that?
We have Chet and Roman, and Roman decided that fuck you even. Roman decided that he wanted to try and live code creating a UI framework from scratch. Okay.
Okay. I mean, he's building like a library for how is like called filament? What was it like?
Yeah, well,
the thing is
it's
doing ray tracing, so probably.
yeah, it's a 3D engine, but I guess like
I guess
don't
a
don't
UI framework
expect
is-
Compose. Expect maybe a button on screen at some point, but the point is they want to show that the basic ideas of a UI framework aren't that complicated. The difficult part is making an API that makes sense. The difficult part is making it performant. The difficult part is making it extensible. Like that's the difficult part. But the basic idea of how you create a UI framework is fairly standard and fairly interesting. I am very much. Oh, thank you for the sub. I'm very much looking forward to that and to probably running over time. I don't know. But it's gonna be super interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And next Sunday, it's just gonna be Ivan and myself, if I'm not mistaken. Let's try and see if we can make the scoped storage work with screenshot tests. Although I still don't know anything about scoped storage, so
I mean, oops.
Eh.
I mean, we can always try.
yeah, we'll read the documentation together and potentially
Try to
not
understand.
figure it out. I don't know. I heard it's complicated.
Have you tried Molecule? What's Molecule?
It's a library from Square, I think, but I haven't tried it.
Okay.
No, me neither.
To do what?
I know it's a library from Square.
Cache out
It's
Compose,
Molecule,
but
okay.
for presenters and stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Is that instead of view
non-UI
models?
stuff.
Because Jake was always thinking about if it's a tree, you can use Compose. So probably at
Exactly,
some
yeah.
point.
It's probably multi-platform
I-
to some extent as well. Then maybe I don't know.
Above my pay grade.
Yeah. Maybe one day
Anyway.
you'll be able to ask him again what he meant. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Okay.
Hugo, thank you for being with us. I love the plugin. I love the fact that I know way more about Gradle plugins. And yeah, it was good. It was good. Thank you.
Maybe we can try
Yeah,
creating
thanks for having
a
me.
plugin together at some point, like live,
Yeah.
to show how it's done.
If you find if we have a nice use case, I will really dig it because they are everywhere. You know, everybody's kind of there is a Gradle plugin, and I always the best that I can do is do apply, and that's my extent.
Well, I mean, all the stuff that you need to actually build the software, or like lint checks also, and build plugins. That's kind of fun stuff that is usually not very much done on average projects, I guess, unless you're in like a big org, which invests a lot in and does all this build infrastructure and stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely down for trying to write some kind of plugin on stream. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Thank you again, everyone that joined us today. See you on Wednesday for the most random stream yet, probably. And have a good one. Bye-bye. Eat some
Bye.
pizza.
Ciao.
Eat pizza. We'll check if you will have eaten pizza on Wednesday. So this is your homework assignment. Have pizza.
Homework.
Hey, we give the best homework.
Ciao.
Best homework ever. Ciao.
Bye.